Well, between my father, Tom Nolan, and what was the priest's name? Martinyuk. Between the three of them, they got together because the Ukrainians that were being sent back from Germany, that went back to the Ukraine, which was occupied by the communists, they were shot. So they were able, whoever was taking care of them, wherever the Germans had left them after the war was over with, I don't know how they were supported, but when the father Martinyuk and Tom Nolan, who was an attorney, and my father were able to work things out, and I think they brought 40 of them over. In fact, your father and mother were part of them. So it was it's something that they know what it was like. That's the reason they came to America to begin with, and things didn't get better with the communists in charge, or the whatever you wanted to call them at that time. It's something they could do, and it worked out. I mean, we found places for them, and some found the places for themselves. Depending on, because they all had some relatives here somewhere or other, and others didn't have any relatives at all. So they didn't. I guess both my father and mother liked doing it, and the attorney, he was a very nice Irishman, and so was his family. Because both he and his wife passed away, they liked doing it, and they were very good at it.
I think a day or two after we got here, I reported to school at St. Peter's and Paul's, the old school where the rectory is now. I spoke 6 languages as the result of being on Ellis Island, but English wasn't one of them. So they didn't know what grade to put me in. And I think I wound up in kindergarten at the age of 7, which was kind of interesting, since I couldn't talk English and the rest of the kids couldn't talk very much at all.
I think people were happy then, really. Like we used to go to choir rehearsal, and we used to be in plays, and everybody were together, and that's the only enjoyment we had is by the church.
In Cohoes, we had St. Peter and St. Paul Ukrainian Church, of which my father, Peter Smud, was one of the founding fathers. And he was also part of the Bratstva for many, many years, along with Mr. Porosnik, Mr. Gudash, Mr. Apostle, that I can remember, and so forth. And we as a family went to church every Sunday, just like everybody else, just through custom and habit, with Mom and Dad and the 4 children. Eventually, as we grew up, Dad continued his bake shop. However, all the affairs at St. Peter and Paul and on their hall was banquets, picnics, get-togethers that the men got together and had their meetings on Sunday night. My dad baked all the bread for the functions and volunteered this and donated it. And this is how the church built up, because Mr. Belinsky provided the kibasi and Mr. Connick provided the milk. And this is how they built their congregation, and it worked out beautifully.
I have some wonderful memories of St. Peter and Paul Church, because as a child growing up, not only was the church part of our religious community, it was part of our social community as well, and we had wonderful, wonderful times there with parties and dancing and fabulous memories. Some of the memories that I have go way back to my early childhood when we went to Van Skyke Elementary School on Continental Avenue in Cohoes. My cousins, Shirley, Johnny, and Paulie St. Ange, and I used to go to school there every day. And right after school, we would walk to Ukrainian school every single day, Monday through Friday. And there, Father Martinyuk would teach us Ukrainian. He would teach us catechism and many other things. But actually, it expanded more when the sisters from Fox Chase came, because then they started teaching us embroidery and started play acting and learning the steps for the Ukrainian dances.
I had an interesting experience with Father Ivakiu. He was an outstanding pastor. He probably did more to make the Altar Boys Society work than any of the pastors we had here, but that wasn't my experience with him. When I was in high school, we had borrowed a friend's car, and I was driving, and the friend's father didn't know I was driving, and we got hit from behind by a little old lady up on 15th Street in Troy. And I remember Father Ivakiu lent me about $110, I think it was, to pay off the damage before the friend's parents came back from whatever vacation it was they were on and found out their car had been dinged. It took me like 4 or 5 years to save enough money working in high school to pay him back. And he never asked for the money. He never, as a matter of fact, asked what I needed it for. He just lent it to me.
Отець Андрушків приходив до нас до школи, до класи, говорив з нами, хотів з нами різні дискусії мати. І раз один кореспондент навіть прийшов разом до школи з отцем. І починав питати нас, як студенти, починав питати отця, як ви маєте відносини з студентами і так далі. А потім подивився на отця і каже, Father, how old are you? Отець так подивився на нього і каже, well, I'm 80 some odd years old. And I look good, don't I? And I look good because I eat garlic. І взяв в себе зубчик чеснику з своєї кишені і показав йому, що він щодня їсть чесник.
It was about 1939 that Father Martinyuk decided to start a drum corps, girls' drum corps. And that's when we started. And that went on until maybe, I think in 1946 that we had the drum corps. And it was very interesting. Myron Lesnick was our first music instructor. And we would practice down at the club, marching or playing. I played the bugle. Oh, Sister Laura, you know, she was in the drum corps. And I remember Olga Zalopany, she played bass bugle. And Rosalind Connick, she was our bass drum player. And Jenny and I, we played the bugle. Gloria Lesnick was the drummer. And Jane Howdan, she played bugle. Mary was a drummer, Mary Howdan. And well, there was a lot of them, the Kowinski girls, Lillian and Dorothy. They played drum. It was very interesting.